Fashion has always been an interesting topic in the world of cyberpunk. From the iconic leathered trench coats to the neon lights and cybernetic enhancements, cyberpunk fashion is a reflection of the dystopian future that we are all familiar with by now. But how did it start, and how has it evolved over time? Well, that's what we're going to explore in this video. So let's dive right in. People from all walks of life began to embrace the look, from punks and goths to metalheads and ravers. There was no one type of cyberpunk fashionista. Thanks to the rise of social media, anyone can be a cyberpunk fashionista. You can mix and match different styles to create your own unique look. It's been a wild ride, but one thing's for sure, cyberpunk fashion is here to stay. What do you think? How has cyberpunk fashion influenced your personal style? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. You can go all out with the neon lights and body modifications, or you can keep it more low-key. With some dark clothing and chunky boots, it's all up to you. The most important thing is to be yourself and to have fun with your look. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. That's what cyberpunk fashion is all about. All you need is a smartphone and an internet connection. You don't even have to live in a big city. You can find inspiration and connect with other fans of cyberpunk fashion from the comfort of your own home. In fact, some of the biggest cyberpunk fashion influencers are based in small towns or even rural areas. And that's what made the era so exciting. It was a true melting pot of styles. The term cyberpunk was coined in the early 1980s, and the fashion that accompanied it was just as cutting edge. At the time, the big names in fashion were embracing a more minimalist approach, but cyberpunk fashion was anything but minimalist. The bright colors were used to accentuate the darker clothing and to create a sense of otherworldliness. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, it started to influence mainstream fashion. Designers began incorporating cyberpunk elements into their collections. And soon it wasn't unusual to see people wearing ripped fishnet stockings or combat boots with their business suits. Of course, this more mainstream iteration of cyberpunk fashion was more style than substance. It was a way for designers to experiment with new looks without making a real statement. But it was still an important evolution nonetheless. It showed that cyberpunk fashion was here to stay. Think glowing tattoos, neon hair highlights, and body paint. Overall, the fashion of the early 80s cyberpunk era was a bold and unapologetic statement. It was a rejection of the status quo and a celebration of individuality. It was also a harbinger of things to come. It was loud, it was proud, and it was definitely not for the faint of heart. The iconic look of the era consisted of layered, textured clothing in dark colors like black, gray, and brown. Think of it like a modern-day grunge look, but with a futuristic twist. The emphasis was on functionality and durability. So you won't find any delicate fabrics or intricate designs here. Instead, there's lots of heavy boots, oversized jackets, and functional accessories like goggles and belts. But it wasn't just about the clothing. Cyberpunk fashion also embraced body modification and cybernetic enhancements. This is where the neon lights come in. As the years went on, cyberpunk fashion became more and more popular. In the 2000s, cyberpunk fashion started to make a comeback. This time it was more underground and more diverse. Today, cyberpunk fashion is more popular than ever. One of the most exciting things about cyberpunk fashion today is that there is no right way to do it. So there you have it, a brief history of cyberpunk fashion from the 80s to today.